Well, it's so great to see you here this morning. This Monday morning, June 4th, we are going to be taking another dive into some of the principles of prosperity as Wallace Wattles writes about in his book, The Science of Getting Rich. You know, the more time that I've been spending with this book, the more clarity that I am seeing in regards to this. It's a scientific process for us to co-create or collaborate with life itself. The life is seeking to express, to emerge, to find a presence here in the physical world by means of you and me. We are not only an inlet for this formless substance, this thinking substance to express in the world, we are an outlet for it as well. Hey, I'm Vukas, and I'm so glad that you can join me today in checking out this is, I believe, day 18 of Adventures in Prosperity. And every day we take a few minutes to dive into some of the principles of prosperity in order to support us in awakening from the trance of scarcity that so many people are walking about in. We have been educated and actually domesticated. Don Miguel Ruiz uses that word. But we've been domesticated in such a way to use our circumstances, to use that which is around us as the basis by which to know whether we can step forward into our next level of becoming or our next level of being. And what we're discovering here in Wallace Wattles' books, that in order for us to experience the good that our heart is longing for, that our soul is calling us towards, then we need to think and act in a certain way, differently than what we have been doing up till now. You know, what is the definition of insanity? It's when you do the same thing over and over and expect a different result each time. But today we're going to be taking a look at how can we continue to think in a certain way to support us in snapping out or waking up from the insanity. Stop the insanity. That's what I'm saying. Stop the insanity. And so now on Friday we had ended the Friday I had offered some ideas. I offered the question, what would I love? And I gave you sort of a homework assignment of over this weekend to spend some time asking yourself, what would I love in the areas of your health, your relationships, your vocation, and also your creative expression, vocation, work, hobby, whatever work you are doing in the world, whatever is you are longing to do in the world. And then also the fourth area was your time and money freedom. What do you envision? What thought of form can you create? What you would love in regards to your time and money freedom? How is life supporting you through freedom, financially and time and every other way? And so, why are we doing this? Because Wallace Wattles talks about in his book here that we have to, in part of thinking on page 52 in the Tarcher Penguin edition, what he writes about here is when you try to impress your wants upon substance, or even, if that's a little too ambiguous or nebulous for you, how about impressing upon your subconscious mind? That part of you which, once it is set into motion, then it no longer questions, it just acts and brings into our experience and guides us and allows ideas and images to emerge in our mind. It's sort of when our subconscious mind, when something has been set in, when it has been impressed with an idea, a thought, a belief, it doesn't question it. And then it sets off, it's like setting a little robot into motion, and then it begins to even pull the strings within us. Allowing, if a certain idea comes up but it isn't a match to what our subconscious mind, the law that is within us, it is not a match to that, then we might feel a little resistance to it. And so what we're wanting to do is impress upon that substance a coherent, what does he says? A coherent statement, a coherent vision that is definite. He says, because sending out unformed longings and vague desires, you can never get rich or start the creative power into action. So on Friday, our last time together, I offered you some guidelines to begin to form a coherent image in your mind of what you would love by asking yourself, what would I love? And only you know the answer to that question. Releasing the shoulds, releasing the must, releasing past experiences as the precedent. Principles not bound by precedent. So if you have past experiences, that doesn't mean that then you are stuck and can never rise above your circumstances. Actually, the exact opposite. Because you've gone through the past circumstances that you did, now you have learned, you have experienced, you are so much greater than your past. And so don't use the past as part of what is possible for you in the future. But today I want to give you two ideas to work with. Well, the first one is, how do you know that that coherent statement is truly are you worthy of it? Is it worthy of you? How about that's where I want to go. Is that dream, is that vision worthy of you? I believe it was in chapter 6. Yes, at chapter 6, let me just share this with you. He says, I recall now the case of a student, and I've mentioned this story before, but I recalled now the case of one student who was told that he must get in mind a clear picture of the things he desired, so that the creative thing thought of them might be impressed on formless substance. That's what we've been talking about up to now. He was a very poor man living in a rented house, and having only what he earned from day to day, he could not grasp the fact that all wealth was his. All wealth is yours. So after thinking the matter over, he decided that he might reasonably ask for a new rug for the floor of his best room and a coal stove to heat the house during the cold weather. And following the instructions given in this book, he obtained those things in a few months, and then it dawned upon him that he had not asked enough. He went through the house in which he lived and planned all the improvements he would like to make in it. He mentally added a bay window here and a room there until it was complete in his mind as his ideal home, and then he planned its furnishings. Holding the whole picture in his mind, he began living in the certain way and moving toward what he wanted. And he owns the house now and is rebuilding it after the form of his mental image. And now with still larger faith, he's going on to greater things. It has been unto him according to his faith, and it is so with you and with all of us. So this morning, what I want to offer you is something that a teacher of mine, Mary Morrissey, has offered me, and it's 5 questions, 5 tests by which you can know whether you're asking largely enough. That's a word that Waddles uses. Or are we is our vision statement, our coherent statement that we're forming, only as big as we think is possible for us? And then are we going to end up like this man who after he acquired the couple things that he thought was possible for him, then he realized, wait a second, I could have used these principles. I used the principles for this, and substance doesn't care. Substance isn't measuring, how much more difficult is it for the universal law of cause and effect to either create a thimble or to create a galaxy? In the law of cause and effect, there is no efforting in that regards. It is, if there is a cause, then there is an effect. And the law sets in motion, and it isn't questioning. If a blade of grass is growing under cement. Hey, Kevin, it's good to see you. Hey, so if a blade of grass is growing through cement, is it shrinking back and going, oh no, this is going to be so hard. Why couldn't I end up in the field and it be easy? No, the blade of grass just knows this is where I've been planted, and this is where I will bloom, so to speak. This is where I will grow. This is where I will allow the vision that is within me, the DNA that is within me, that spiritual DNA, that the vision of a life fully lived, that is what is within me. And this is where I am going to allow that to emerge. So within ourselves, then there is a dream, there is a vision, there is a longing, and maybe even a discontent that is calling us to better and more. And are we fully reaching that and reaching out for that and allowing that to emerge and be present in our lives? Or are we settling back and shrinking back of what we believe is possible? So I'm going to offer these 5 tests. This is what Mary Morrissey refers to as these tests of testing your vision to see whether your vision is worthy of you. With all of the power of the universe back of you, is your dream, is this vision of what you would love big enough to call you into that next level of becoming? The first one is does your dream, does this, when you ask yourself the question, what would I love, does it make you feel alive? That's the first test. Is it life-giving? Is it life-affirming? Does it, when you think about it and imagine it and put yourself into, answer that question, what would I love? And when you imagine yourself being, doing, and having it, does it cause an aliveness to emerge? Does it cause you to go, oh my, like you were, if you've ever been, I grew up in Tampa, Florida, and we had a water park called Adventure Island. And I remember as a kid, my mom taking us to Adventure Island and here on these flume rides, on these water rides, on these high slides. And then I remember sitting at the top of that and looking down and seeing the vision of where I was going and where I was headed. It would cause me to come alive. Oh, the aliveness. I don't know all the ways to getting there and I don't know what it's going to be like, but there is life there. When you think of the life that you would love to be, do, and have, does it cause an aliveness? Does it cause your heart to start pounding and go, yes, if it was possible, I would love that. So you know that when, if there is an aliveness, then yes, check, yes. You want a yes to all these questions, and in so doing, then you know that your dream is big enough to match the life that's in you. So does it make you feel alive? If it's a yes, then we're going to move on to the next one. If it's a no, then go back to the drawing board and then allow yourself to really, what would I love? What would give me more life in the area of my health, relationships, creative expression, and time and money freedom? The second test is, does it align with my core values? Does it align with the life that what is important to me? In the area of my health, does my dream match up to that? Or is it a little off? I'll give you an example. If you have a dream and part of your desire is to work from home, maybe you would love to start a home-based business that would give you the freedom in order to where your life and your business it's really one, and you're supported in living your life and your business. You are your business, and but then in your vision statement, or as you were writing down, you have some idea that in order for you to work from, have a home-based business, it's going to require you. In your vision, you sort of say, well, the idea that I have, I would love to have a home-based business, but I would also need to travel, 52 weeks out of the year in order for me to be able to have that home-based business. And you see how that is a little incongruent? It's a little off. Maybe as you're thinking, I'm working from home, but then, I'm going to have to be on the road most of the time in order to have that business. Then that is not a match to your core values of being at home and also being on the road. But maybe it is. Maybe that's your version of a home-based business. But if you see that the how that comes to mind isn't really a match to the what and why, then all that means, and if you answer a no to that question, is does it align with my core values? Then all that means is that there's a higher version of the dream that is wanting to be known. And so just not go back to the drawing board, but build on what's already there. The third question is, does it require you to grow? Does it require you to grow? Well, what does that mean? Well, if you already know everything necessary in order to get from here to there, you already know all of the skills and all of the abilities, then it's really not a dream. It's really not a vision. It's really, the question I would ask you is, why have you been putting it off if you already know everything and that it takes to do that? It's maybe some procrastination has been, maybe that needs to, there's something else. But if for a dream and a life that you would love to live, it is going to require you to grow. The fourth test, or the fourth test for your dream, or for this statement, this coherent vision of your life, to impress on formless substance, if it's big enough, it would be, do you need help from a higher power to make it a reality? Now, higher power can mean, as far as you can define higher power as a higher power, as you identify as the infinite mind, God, source, spirit, the universe, however that may be. But it could mean that the higher power could also be expressed by means that it's going to take more than you. Maybe there's a team that needs to be developed around you. Maybe you need a coach or a mentor. Maybe you need a teacher or a support staff in order to propel you forward. Does it require a higher power? Or if it's all hinged on you, then it's not big enough. It's not big enough. And the last one, is there good in your vision, in your dream for others? Is there good in your dream for others? And do you know, human beings are, I believe, only the only species that operates with a consumer mentality. Everything in nature, every animal, every plant, every fruit tree, is part of it, knows that they're connected to this web, and there is a circle of life, and they are expressing and giving and supporting that. Apples don't eat their own fruit. But yet we as human beings, the fruit, as a result of the work and the effort we do, we want to hold on to it. We want to cling on to it, and out of fear that maybe there won't be another crop to be enjoyed. No, actually, the fruit that we produce is meant to be released so that we can go ahead and make room for more, to express more. And so if you are living your dream, if you are living from your heart and living and congruent with that, then yes, your dream, you living fully and completely and giving that in support and service to the world, as Wallace Wattles talks about being a person of value, and we'll talk about more in that in an upcoming video, then yes, then if you're truly living your dream, if you're truly reaching for the next level of becoming, there would be good in it. Having a relationship, having love in your life, finding the love of your life is an inspiration to all of those around. We love seeing love. In order for you to be in business for yourself and to success, inspires others to success. There is good in others by you going after your dream. It's not being selfish. There is a healthy selfishness, and we'll talk about that also as well. So I want to anchor this in prayer. So take these 5 tests, these 5 questions, and apply them to the vision that you have for your life. And in so doing, then you can know that you are in alignment with the next level of the next spiral of your evolution. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about a mental attitude. We're going to be stepping into the next chapter. We're talking about how to use willpower, but how to use your will. But I'm going to be offering you another idea that is fundamental in order for you to continue to step forward, something that you're going to have to embrace for yourself if you desire to step into that next level of becoming. So here on this Monday morning, I invite you to join me in knowing this, in knowing that there is only one power, one presence, one intelligence, this one formless substance, this thinking substance that's all around us and that is in us and actually is expressing as us. And here today, in knowing that there is no separation between that power, that substance, and who I am and who you are, then what I declare and affirm for all of us is that the life, the vision, the coherent image of a life we would love to be, do, and have, it is already alive within us. And you and I, we have the ability to see it, to be it, to do it, to think it, to envision it. Life is calling us forward, and our hearts and our minds are open to that today. And any past thought of restriction or limitation or any past precedent, so to speak, that we are mindful of, we release that and put that aside, and we declare and know right here in this moment it is a new day. And today is a new day, and we rejoice in it, and we rejoice in it because we have a new opportunity to create again, to co-create with life, to step forward, to step into what life is calling us to say yes to. And so we have the power and the ability, the means to say yes. And that is what we say today. Yes to life. Yes to love. Yes to freedom. Yes to harmony and stamina and strength in every area of our lives. And that is what is our experience. That is what we claim. And that is what the law has set into motion. And I am so grateful in knowing that it is already done in divine mind. And it is done in your life, in my life, right here and now. And so it is. I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, I'm going to be sharing with you an idea that is necessary to embrace in order to use your will in the most effective way possible. So I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. Have a wonderful day. Peace and love. Namaste.